Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Planet Coaster 2 in my franchise with friends. Today, we are still at the very first park in the franchise, Landsdowne Park. Now we've already done quite a bit of work here in the park. As you can see, we've got a fantastic little entry plaza with everything a park goer will need right up front, from lockers to guest services, stroller rentals, etc, etc. Our classic carousel as the plaza's centerpiece right here. A couple of large coasters for our thrill-seeking guests, the classic Aero Yankee Looper, and the park's big signature wooden coaster, the Jayhawker Express, which I have been thinking about changing the name of the coaster. However, one of my viewers, Big Kahuna Burger, suggested that instead of changing it, we just say it's been affectionately nicknamed by the park operators as just Jayhawk, which I think is an absolute great idea because I don't have to change anything about the ride, but I myself can just refer to it as Jayhawk. And then there's the ride we added in the last episode, the S&S, or in Planet Coaster's world, F&F, Triple Shot Tower, which I'm still kind of deciding on a name on. So let's hear those ideas in the comments down below if you guys got any good ones. But you know, it wouldn't be a new episode of Landsdowne Park unless I added something new. So what I have done is taken the bumper cars we added a few episodes ago, moved them over here by the arcade, and gave them an extra special little glow up with an all new ride cover. Now of course we will take a look at it in detail, but first, for those who want to see how it came together, here's the build time lapse. Alrighty everyone, welcome back to Landsdowne Live. For those who watch the time-lapse stuff, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the build come together. But now, let's take a closer look at it in its final form. So first of all, I changed up the coloring on a lot of it. Originally, I was modeling it after the one at King's Dominion, which has an Auntie Anne's pretzel shop attached to it. So I kind of started with that color choice. But then I got to thinking, you know, this whole area we were trying to turn into kind of an Americana theme, which originally started with when I put Yankee Looper in. We had the idea, well, you know, since this is kind of very red, white, and blue, let's do America type stuff, like a Celebrate America type thing here. So we were going to do a couple of other different rides and things over here that kind of went along with that theme. But I think the direction we're going to go with now is going to be a little different. And instead of the Americana, I think we're going to go with a classic amusement park midway. So I changed up the pattern to be more colorful and eye-catching. Also added was the ride sign to the top of the building. This is a pretty basic design, but I think it works overall. It's essentially a couple of the circular art pieces right here, and then the 3D lettering on each one to spell out the name Dodgems, which I think really doesn't need the S at the end, but I put it there to make ours a little more unique. Another thing I changed was instead of the blue plaster semicircles around the roof, I went with a wooden board type of look instead. I think it makes it look a little bit more vintage. And as you saw in the time lapse, I added these little lights once again to the top of the entire building. And I think that kind of ties it into the rest of this section, especially with the arcade over here. Now, just like the one at King's Dominion that I was modeling it after, I went ahead and added a little bit of a walk-up dining area right here. There's still some stuff I need to do to this specific part of the building, but for now, it's working and it's bringing in guests. Once I finalize the shops, I will talk a little bit more about that. But for now, I'm just going to say I hope we get some new food and drink options in the new DLC, which hasn't been announced officially, but we all know it's coming. Something else to note about our little bumper car building is the footprint. The eagle-eyed among you may notice that I have the path much closer to the ride than it typically goes. This is because I used a little trick from the Planet Coaster Master Manipulator, Taggy. Let me give you a quick rundown on it. So the first thing you do is choose which flat ride you are going to be working on, such as the Bump and Derby right here. So we will put that down, and then we want to place our entrance where we're sure it's going to go, such as like right here, and then our exit like that. And then what we're going to do is go into flumes and create a custom flume. Anything will do, it doesn't really matter which one you go with. And then we're going to take the flume, like, forgot what the platforms. Yeah, we're going to take the platforms and we're going to place it kind of close to one side of the ride, like this. And then we're going to attach a few more onto this to make it the length of the entire side of the ride. Just go a little bit beyond. I don't know if that you need that or not, but that's how I figured out how to make it work. Then we're going to select the platform, and on PC we're going to hit X. I don't know if this works on console or not. It might, but I don't know all the controls on that because that's not how I play the game. And then we are just going to inch this thing forward a little closer to it, to right up on the edge like that. And from there we are going to move it just slightly, a little bit at a time, keeping it under, if you're doing feet, it's 15 feet. We don't want to go more than that. Let's see, so right about 13 will work. As long as it's under 0.15 feet is what you want it. And then we're going to just keep doing this all the way over. So 13, 10's good. All right. And then we'll just kind of keep edging it over, and you can kind of see it is slightly moving it over just a little bit, and it's kind of eating away at the edge. So you just kind of have to keep doing this until you get as far in as you want to go. You can only go so far with it, but you know, it does work. So see, if I try to do any more than the 15 feet, like 0.30, I keep saying feet, but it's point, like 30. And then if I try that, see it says path cannot cross. But if I go back to like 0.15, bam, it works. And it just kind of keeps eating away at it. So that's how that kind of works. It is extremely time consuming, but in the end, totally worth it. And here's a quick tip for you. Like I was saying earlier, make sure you know where you're going to be putting your entrance and your exits before you start the cutaway process. I didn't know that. I ended up having to do every single bit of this twice. And after I did all that work the first time, I went to place down my entrance and it put the entire footprint back to its original form. So save yourself some time and trouble, plan ahead. Now, speaking of entrances and exits, I originally had the idea to have the ride exit through the arcade over here. Like the exit would be at the back of the building and then it would go into a hallway and the hallway would exit out through here. So then all the guests would have to go through the arcade when they were getting off the ride. But once I figured out that I can't do that with the entrance and the exits the way I wanted, like I can't cut this part off and then put the exit on it, like on the part that I cut off, well, my original plan wasn't going to work. So I had to change things. So instead, I added the queue line here on this side of the ride with just a single small line. And to cover up the extra space of the footprint, I put in, as you can kind of see if I can get in there, put in a little bit of a fake cattle pin here. And then I used some chain pieces, which it's not my choice of the chain pieces. I wish I could have used a different one, but these are the only ones that will kind of shrink down to about this size. I mean, I could use the mod that lets me shrink things even further down, but that only works if everybody who views the park has the actual mod. And since this is a franchise with friends, I don't want to have to force everybody who's, building in the map to have to download and install that mod. So I just decided I would just go with the best one that I could. And yeah, it's got these kind of spikes on it, which I mean, it's not great, but I mean, it does kind of work, I guess. I was kind of thinking, like a ride that's been in the park for this long probably doesn't get that many visitors, since Dodgems has probably been here since close to when the park actually became an amusement park itself. May have been one of the first rides ever added. It's fairly old, doesn't see its fair share of guests and things anymore, so they don't need such a long line and for like a queue line and stuff. So they've kind of taken this part out and just kind of chained it off and be like, hey, this isn't used anymore, we don't want to do any changes, so we're just going to block it off. And then I decided I'd put the exit kind of like right next to where the entrance is back here, kind of at the very back of the building. It exits out to this kind of little plaza with some more umbrella tables and seating. And this little plaza is going to tie in directly to the park's next big attraction, which I don't want to spill the beans on just yet, but I will say, next episode, get ready for another new coaster to the park. So that's it for now, mi amigos. Let me know what you think of our new Dodgems in the comments. As always, I look forward to hearing the feedback, and maybe one of your ideas gets used. There's still plenty to do in the park though. Lots of space for building and lots of plans in development. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, I do hope that you consider doing so that way you can continue this little park building journey with me. And if you like this park, and you haven't already, check out my other Planet Coaster series that I just started, Rebaville. It's a new twist on Dollywood that will be my most detailed park I've ever built. Also, if you're a theme park fanatic like me, check out my other channel, Phoenix Adventures, for real-life theme park visits and more. I got 2 new videos coming soon from my recent trip down south to Dollywood and Carowinds, which is the first time I've ever been there. And with it coming up on the fall season, I got more trips planned that I think you guys are going to enjoy as well. One last thing before I go. I also have a Discord, so if you want to talk shop, discuss Planet Coaster, real life parks, or just chat, consider joining. Links in the video description down below. So until next time, wherever you guys are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And I'll see you in the next video.